Fired up footballers, welcome back to Spitting Fire YT. Jeffrey and James here with you as always. And with the transfer window right around the corner.
July's coming up, July 10th.
Obviously, everyone on the Chicago Fire community for the last couple of years now have been clamoring for a number 10 in center attacking mid.
Years.
But you know what? I think with the emergence of Brant Bronico, I'm not saying that he's a number 10, but now that Pauno's really playing more of a 4-3-3, not a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, in a 4-2-3-1, you definitely can use a more traditional number 10, but the style of play that we're playing right now with this 4-3-3 is more of a three-center mids that can dominate the center mid with work rate and possession that way. And so I think if we keep going with this 4-3-3, I almost would rather see Luis Sligniak be replaced, and then we have Katai, Nico, and player to be named up there. Because Alexander Katai right now kind of is like our center attacking mid. You know, he's that guy that's going to check two at times. Be our creative guy. Now, I know what people are going to say. He's not, a distributor with the ball. But, I think we can get away with Katai with the way he's playing. And just imagine that on the other side of the pitch, on the other touchline, we have a dangerous winger out there. Just a complete dangerous winger out there.
Or a fast winger.
Fast winger that the other team has to pay attention to. Now that they don't have to key on Alexander Katai and Nikolic, now there's another guy on the touchline, waiting for that ball. So, I think Brant Bronico, Boston Schweinsteiger, and Dax McCarty, I think those three are enough, and we have Georgie coming back and Mo coming back. So I think there's enough pieces in the midfield. Now, yes, I'll agree, we do need a number 10, and that definitely is on the to-do list or the need list. But if we keep playing this 4-3-3 and we kind of keep playing this style where we keep dominating, I think we can get away with Katai being more of that playmaker and then having a dangerous winger, maybe adding some width. So I think that would be a remedy for success.
I think that's a good idea, and it also doesn't remove Bronico from the midfield, because if you do add the number 10, one of those positions, and it's more than likely Bronico's, that would be moved up to accommodate for that position.
Basti has really been that 10, and think about it. Can you imagine?
But you're not taking Basti out.
Can you imagine dropping Basti to a more traditional center mid spot? I mean, the way he attracts that ball, the way possession is like a magnet around him. I mean, it would be hard for a true number 10 to get those touches to spring people. I mean, really, Boston Schweinsteiger right now is playing as our number 10, and he just
as an 8 or 6.
Yeah, and he just attracts that ball. So I mean, you really got to think about if we do drop him and we do have a cam. I mean, our possession is just going to drop a little bit more with Basti. But of course, I'm open to a 4-2-3-1 with a more traditional cam. But if we do keep with this 4-3-3, I do think a winger might be more valuable.
Real quick, because we just dropped some information that maybe some people don't understand. Number 10 is usually a cam, a center attacking mid. A number 8 is usually a box-to-box midfielder. And number 6 is usually a defensive midfielder. These are soccer terms that are used pretty proficiently. So you're saying bring in a right winger. I'm thinking what bringing in a right winger does is it really hurts the rest of this team, because right now you have Lucho, Michael Daly, you have I already said something like Collier, Baquero, and Campos, all vying for one spot, all vying for that right wing spot. So you bring in that right winger, all of a sudden all 5 of those guys are cut off, because they're not replacing Nico, they're not replacing Katai, and none of them are going to be replacing that fast right winger. So now you have a big problem on your hands.
First of all, and Katai staying. Let's say that real quick.
Oh man, or Katai doesn't stay, and they keep Lucho, or Katai doesn't stay, and they keep Lucho instead. Because honestly, look what this does by bringing in an extra winger. You've basically made all 5 of those strikers who are forced to play right wing all redundant. And so by bringing that, pushes them all down. They're not going to be motivated to play because there's no spot for them to even fight for.
My thing to say is who cares, because they are not good enough.
They're not good enough.
You watch our attack right now. I mean, we do not go down that right side.
No.
Lucho touches the ball 1.8% of the time. That right side is non-existent. If we can just get someone more involved on that side, someone more involved in the attack, I mean, that really can lighten it up. But I know what you're going to say.
I absolutely agree with you. That would be the preferred thing. But the problem is there's so much dead wood, thanks to Nelson Rodriguez roster building, that they have so many redundancies built into this team that either, A, they can't just go get a winger. If they are going to go get a winger, we're going to see one of 2 scenarios. We're going to see players from the Fire getting traded away. Michael DeLiuve maybe gets traded away to maybe a Seattle, and maybe they get a Clint Dempsey back, who could fill in as like a center forward or a cam role for us.
Ooh, this year he's not doing too well this year.
Or even send Lucho and Chani their way, and we could get maybe Dempsey, because Dempsey's on his downturn. Dempsey's not that great anymore, but I do feel like he could provide a spark for this team in that central pivot.
So are you saying there's a log? Are you saying right now
there's a log jam?
But none of those players are good.
None of them are, and I totally agree with you. We say that.
We do have a whole.
You can't do that though with this team. You have to reset. If you're going to get a winger, you're going to have to get a winger in the offseason of next year, because you're just saying no to all these players, and you can't do that as a coach, and you can't do this as a manager, as a grand manager.
And you hope one of those 5 players can work out.
You've been hoping that this entire season, and you're going to have because of this season, they've banked on that. That is the bet they're going to have to play the rest of the season.
And I know this is what you want to talk to, which is probably the biggest problem this year is what, James?
Well, the back line. Yeah. So if you're not going to get a right winger, which is the most obvious fill, or a Cam, which is the most obvious fill that this team's really needs, it's been Cam. But after Cam and right wing, if you're not going to get one of those players to push all the rest of those players who already don't fit further down the line, and they don't fit, but then that means you're either going to go get a center back to give Pano some stability back there, because he can't trust anybody besides that is the question.
Kapahov's not going anywhere for now. Well, isn't he on a contract?
It's his contract year for him too. So who knows if he's going to be even staying here next year.
For the topic of this year, I mean, he needs someone to play with.
Well, past that, so not to mention just center back, that whole back line is in tatters. You need an actual MLS-capable left back. If Brandon Vincent is that. He is MLS-capable. I've given him that. He's MLS-capable. But if you want to get somebody great there, you got to go get better there. You can get better there, I think. Yeah. But the bigger problem on that back line, besides left back, because it's not, you do have Brandon Vincent, who could fill in amperly, just the same as the striker roles with the right winger, where they have all these strikers playing right winger, just because they don't have a player who's good enough, so they have to fill it. Brandon Vincent, he's good enough. I'll give him that. But right back is a big issue now, and it's going to be an issue going forward, because
you want a center back.
You can't rely.
You're right. You almost need a couple defenders.
You need a center back and a right back.
If you have Kappelhoff and Brandon Vincent who are penciled in there, I mean, that means if you're not satisfied with Campbell and you're not satisfied with Lillard, who I think they've been fine.
And you can't be satisfied with Polster's unavailability.
And then Polster's, the best ability is availability. And so you definitely have 2 holes on that back line. And you compare it to last year, that probably is our biggest drop off from our success last year, is our back line. So I definitely see what you're saying. I mean, before we got to even think about worrying about a center attacking mid, a right winger, I mean, you got to get that back line right defensively and offensively. I mean, it definitely is in shambles. You can link back to the goalkeeper if you want.
I agree. You got enough depth up top with your forward core between the 8 strikers that you have that are all redundant strikers. You have enough depth that you can fill out that right wing. However, in the back line, that's the issue. That's the biggest issue. You get a center back in, maybe you get a right back in. I even think that they might be looking at Guillermo Ochoa to bring in goalkeeper, because what we've seen from Sanchez lately is inexperience, a goalkeeper who can't distribute, and a goalkeeper that's getting picked on by every single team in the league. Now, his goal-stopping ability, his safe-stop ability, top-notch.
James,
but his distribution,
you're getting
unacceptable at this point.
1, maybe 2 guys. So you're right. Maybe that right wing spot, we have enough guys. While they're not good enough,
they're not going to get.
You have enough guys that they can play.
You have too many.
So you're right. Then you have to figure out: do you need 2
guys? Or
you
trade some.
Do you have 2 guys for your back line, or do you need 1 back line and a center attacking mid? You convinced me that almost a number 10. You're right. Number 10 might be more pressing than a right winger.
It is, but you can live with it.
I almost want 2 defenders now. I think I'd want 2 defenders.
I agree, but especially if you're playing the 4-3-3 like you were talking about, because if you're abandoning the 4-2-3-1, then you don't need a Cam this year. You could live without with the striker at right wing playing with Lucho and with Collier. You could live with that for the rest of the season, but you can't live with this woeful defense. Yeah. You solve the defense, you're going to solve a lot of the problems on this fire team. You put a center back there and a goalkeeper like Guillermo Ochoa, who's not good off his line, by the way. Guillermo Ochoa is not good off his line. But if you put somebody of that quality back there, maybe he's got the confidence and the know-how to settle that back line, in addition with bringing in another stalwart center back. But it's very anti-MLS to bring in a DP-level center back. It's you bring in a TAM-level center back.
This is a hard topic, because think about it. Okay, you've convinced me that we need a defender. So let's say we need another center back. Okay, so we have another center back.
Now what?
So now we have. You got to say, okay, we have Brandon, but now are you going to waste a resource on a right back? If Matt Polster is going to be back
the rest of the season?
But if Matt Polster is going to be back next year, Why are you going to be putting?
And he plays 5 games and he breaks again, just like last season before this.
And you're right. You're right.
And this isn't. I'm sorry to say this about Matt Polster, but this is not just last year, not just this year. This is always with Matt Polster.
Right.
Is availability is the biggest issue with him. Not to say the talent isn't there, because gosh, I think the player is so talented. I think he is MLS starter capable. He's MLS starter level, but you can't get out of that from a player who can't make the field 34 games out of a 38 game season.
Man, you've definitely convinced me. I mean, if starting from our midfield 3, I'm just thinking in terms of a 4-3-3. I like our 3 in the mid. I guess our 3 up top is good enough.
2 out of 3 are good enough.
And then we have 5 guys that can maybe play that one spot.
But 1 out of 4 is good enough back in that back line. That's Johan Kaploff, because Brandon Vincent's playing center back, and he's not good enough as a center back. You got Johan Corrales playing left back. He can give you 30 to 40 minutes at left back, but he's USL level. He has some flashes of capability. And then you have Campos, who's a right winger forward type, filling in as a right back. And then you also have Ellis, who's a USL level center back, 5'9", slow as molasses, who can't do the attacking job of a right back. You have all these pieces that were given by Nelson Rodriguez for Pono to figure out. Nelson has done him no favors.
Do you remember what Nelson said in his press conference a couple months ago, what he wanted to bring in? He said competition for the back line, goalkeeper, and an attacking option. So he said 3 things. He said a defender option, a goalkeeping option, and an attacker. But that doesn't mean a winger. That doesn't necessarily mean a cam. But, man, if we can get in 3, because, I mean, 1 is not enough.
It's not going to happen. There's not enough money.
A cam, I mean, because you got to sign Katai.
And there's not enough there's only 2 roster spots available. So there's only 2 roster spots available. Also, they've wasted at least 5 international spots on players that are unproven MLS players. You got Baquero, Collier, and Campos, quite a few of other guys and Mo Adams, who are all playing on international. Oh, we got to turn that off. International prospect slot. They're all playing on international slots, and none of them were good enough. While you have Toronto, who will bring in a player like Gregory Vanderveel, a proven European player, and then use that international slot on him. So we also have a team-building issue here, and we all know this, that Nelson Rodriguez is not making intelligent choices here.
All right, my last comment, and then let's wrap this up. If it sounds like if we have Katai, we sign Katai, and then we can only make 1 move, I think you're correct. It has to be a defender.
It has to be a defender.
I mean, at this point, we've gotten by without a cam. We've gotten by without a winger. But, I mean, we are just a sieve letting up way too many goals. Way too many goals. And you have no idea how influential our back line was for offense last year. I mean, a sturdy back 2 center backs with Miera and Kaploff, and then we had our 2 wing backs getting involved. So you're right. We definitely need to get that defense correct.
Dusko Tosic, Serbian center back, was floated, but I believe he's already re-signed, or at least signed onto a new team over in Turkey. So he's
China.
No, he's over in Turkey. I thought so. So he's out of the picture. Maybe it is China. Maybe it is Guangzau. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. It's one of the 2. But he's out of the picture. But you got to go get a top-level center back, TAM level, DP, whatever it is. Even a right back could help this out. And a goalkeeper, because I don't know if you can rely on Richard to get you guys to the top. That's not to say I don't think Richard can't be good in a year or 2, but at this point, he's not going to be winning you championships or get you there because of his distribution is nowhere near where it should be, or where it needs to be at MLS level. His save stop ability, absolutely at MLS level. His distribution, not. And so that has to be another issue. Another thought, do we go get Guillermo Ochoa, who is going to be on a free and is an admitted lover of the Bulls. So, and also you have other Mexican players who are doing great over here. The Jonathan Dos Santos, the Carlos Villas, and the Mexico's having success right now. So maybe they're like, hey, go to Chicago. So, I mean, that's maybe the best case scenario. Because
and that center back. I know there's a center back that's playing in the MLS that just got called up. I can't remember his name.
With the Swedish, there was a Swedish center back.
But anyways, James, let's end it here.
Funny note though, last one. So of Group D that got Group F that got eliminated today, with Germany and South Korea being eliminated. So Sweden and Mexico, the 2 advancing teams, both have MLS players, and South Korea and Germany do not. Take that for what you will, but little cheeky fact there. That seemed funny. But that's what you got from us, boys and girls. I think we need a center back and a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Or a right back. I'll take a center back.
We need a lot.
Or a right back, center back and a right back, or center back and a goalkeeper. Yeah. I would rather leave Richard Sanchez untouched, but If you bring in a better goalkeeper, this team gets better.
You've changed my mind. If I have one pick, I go center back. If I have another pick, I might go outside back.
Yeah, I could go right back and then settle something up for the future. Maybe you go get Piszczek from Poland, who's just got sent home, and see if he wants to come pick up his career in America, because he was still a really good Bundesliga back.
He would be loved here.
Still a top 10 Bundesliga right back. I'm sorry, still top 10 Bundesliga right back by stats this season, last season. He's very good. Mm-hmm. So that would be another person that you could bring in on a free, or maybe not on a free, but potentially for cheap on their end of their career, but is a very good player. And also fits our mold of being a Polish international, and I think would speak to the fan base. So thoughts you got to think about. Something needs to happen, especially with Katai needing to be signed here in the next few days, and that's really going to signal this entire intent for this entire season. Are they closing up shop, or are they going to be trying to vie for something?
I don't know, but we got to end it because our food is ringing upstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear.
All right, boys and girls, sorry about that. We'll see you guys later. Let us know what you guys think the Fire should get. If you had to pick 2 spots.
Or 1. Even 1.
Give 1 priority and then pick second for a bonus. Because, honestly, I have no faith in Nelson Rodriguez to get anything done. All right, boys and girls, we'll see you guys later. Toss a like if you enjoyed the analysis. Subscribe for more Spitting Fire.
We're going to eat.